You're watching WEAR News, the morning current on WFGX.
Welcome to Monday Morning's Current. I'm Jared Willis.
I'm Laura Hussey. So great to have you with us as we kick off this Monday. We want to start with a medical helicopter crash. 3 people are injured after this chopper went down in Evergreen.
Happened about 4 o'clock yesterday afternoon. It had just taken off from the Evergreen Medical Center, crashed on South Main Street into a house. One person in the home was taken to the hospital in Montgomery with cardiac concerns you can understand.
2 crew members on board that helicopter were injured. One of them is in critical condition. One is stable. The crew members were brought to Ascension Sacred Heart in Pensacola. There were no patients on board at the time of the crash. The NTSB is going to be on site today, and right now we don't have any further information.
Certainly a bit cold and a bit windy here, but wow, take a look at this live shot of Philadelphia, Pennsylvania this morning.
For a nor'easter, a powerful one is slamming the East Coast. Conditions there are dangerous in many areas. Wind, coastal flooding, up to 2 feet of snow have already come down.
Now 7 states to date have declared a state of emergency and about, give or take, 40 million people under a blizzard warning. In New Jersey, tens of thousands of customers without power overnight.
In Massachusetts, parts of the state could see wind gusts over 70 miles an hour, creating whiteout conditions and, as you would imagine, making travel dangerous and near impossible.
New York City is issuing a travel ban until noon today for all vehicles. New Jersey Transit and Long Island Railroad suspending service.
In Philadelphia, buses are no longer running, and the storm is also paralyzing major airports. More than 7,000 delays and nearly 3,500 cancellations on Sunday.
And again, you know, everything's relative, right? It's cold and windy here, but nothing like that.
I know, yeah, thoughts for all those people. That is no fun. Brooke, we have had for Florida a pretty stinging cold wind the last couple days.
Yeah, and we're going to be looking at those windy conditions as we go into your day today. So just make sure you're prepared for those breezy conditions this morning. About 10 to 20 mile an hour winds is what we're seeing. Right now we do have nice sunshine. We're going to be looking at those clear skies today. It's just going to be windy through the morning. We do have your temperatures above freezing, but we are chilly. We're going to be seeing the 30s and into those low to mid 30s inland areas. Along the coastline is where we're seeing those upper 30s, around 36 to about 38 degrees, ranging along the coastline. Now your winds are going to be anywhere from 10 to 20 miles an hour. That's going to make it feel a little bit cooler, so just get prepared for that. Radar still dry. We'll still have some sunshine, and we should see temperatures get into the 40s as we head into the next couple of hours. And then eventually your highs today going to be in the low 50s. Overnight tonight, temperatures will drop again. We'll get into those 30s, and we should be seeing temperatures getting close to freezing overnight.
Let's get a quick look outside at 7:03 and check on traffic. 110 at Brent Lane this morning. Light traffic moving smoothly and no reports of any slowdowns.
And if the wind shocked you pretty much every time you stepped out the door over the weekend, you can imagine people who live outside. Cold weather shelters are opening up for people who need them.
Ferris Hill Baptist Church on Chafin Street in Milton opens tonight at 6:30 until 8:30. Shelter closes at 7 in the morning.
In Okaloosa County, One Hopeful Place will open at 4 p.m. Today. That's at the North Beale Extension in Fort Walton Beach.
Crestview area shelter for the homeless Monday, tonight, and tomorrow as well. Opens at 6 at 120 Duggan Avenue.
In Mexico this morning, locals and tourists are being told to stay inside after the death of a powerful cartel leader.
Here we go. Drug lord El Mencho was killed Sunday in Guadalajara. He died in a shootout as the Mexican military tried to capture him. He was the boss of the Jalisco New Generation cartel.
They are one of the fastest growing criminal networks in Mexico, known for trafficking fentanyl, methamphetamine, and cocaine, all of it into the U.S. The White House confirming they did give some intel to assist with the operation to capture El Mencho.
Now, since he was killed, cartel members are responding with violence across the country. Guadalajara basically shut down yesterday. 14 people killed, including Mexican National Guard troops. Explosions across Puerto Vallarta, popular destination, as you know, for many American tourists.
It had to be some scary moments there. Some videos that are coming out show tourists watching smoke rise up from the beach. Again, they had been told not to move. shelter in place. Airports also suspended flights, leaving many people stranded, and roads have been blocked, cars set on fire. Last night, the Mexican government said at this point they've cleared more than 250 roadblocks in 20 states.
More to come, certainly. Now we have this in Florida. A man dead, accused of breaching the perimeter at Mar-a-Lago, armed with a shotgun and a gas can.
This happened yesterday about 1:30 in the afternoon. The Secret Service says this man was ordered to drop the gun and the canister, and that he put the canister down but raised the gun. He was shot and killed by Secret Service agents and a local deputy. The
president in D.C. at the time, the suspect has been identified as 21-year-old Austin Tucker Martin. Federal law enforcement raided his family's property in Moore County, North Carolina. FBI leading the investigation, still no motive.
Meanwhile, his family had reported him missing just about the same time he breached the perimeter at Mar-a-Lago. His cousin talked to a local TV station saying Martin had never used a gun, didn't know how, didn't like guns, and had never shown any interest in politics.
Says the family supports generally President Trump, making it odd that he drives 700 miles to Mar-a-Lago with that gun. Family says he worked on golf courses, owned a company of selling drawings of golf courses.
More to come on that one as well.
All right, it was a big weekend in Pensacola, Pensacon 2026. 3 days of big fun wrapped up last night, I guess.
Hearing great things. Thousands of people here in Pensacola in on all the fun. And plans are already in the works for Pensacon 2027. WEAR's Aria Circa joining us with the plans. Good morning.
Good morning. Before this year's Pensacon even got to fully wrap up, organizers already announcing the dates for next year, and those are February 19th through the 21st of 2027. Many attendees we spoke with already planning their trip for next year and looking ahead to secure those 3-day passes as soon as they go on sale. Several cosplayers are also already thinking up what they're going to do for their costume design next year.
A lot of people who have been cosplaying have been asking us questions, and we've been answering on how they can make their cosplays better and things like that. So I'm looking forward to seeing how those people grow when they come back and the cosplays that they make in the future.
Vendors are also securing their spot for next year, saying they're looking forward to coming to Pensacola. They look forward to coming to Pensacola every single year to see all the familiar faces. Several media guests have been announced as well, including Leah Clark, Justin Briner, and Paul McGann. VIP passes for next year are expected to go on sale soon. Laura, Jared.
Okay, if you're excited about next year's Pensacon, find out everything that's been released so far. Scan that QR on your screen. That'll take you to WEARTV.com with everything we know about next year's con to date.
This morning we are remembering a former colleague, Al Showers.
He passed away Saturday in Grant at 62. Longtime WEAR employee, worked as a photographer and an MMJ.
Previously, he was at WLOX in Biloxi, really a legend along the Mississippi Gulf Coast. You may have seen him out in the field. You may have seen his reports. Al had been sick the last few years. Our thoughts and prayers are with his family, and we're hearing from New York City this morning. AJ, I think we have a tweet from Robin Roberts or some kind of communication that we want to share, because Robin knew Al when he worked in Mississippi. They had worked on many projects together. I'm not sure if we can bring AJ in from the control room right now and talk about that, or we can pull it up this. It's really special because Al spoke so highly of Robin Roberts. She was really a hero to him. They had plans for some type of gospel documentary that they were going to do together. Those things didn't quite pan out. This man was truly a gentleman, and I would like to honor him by being able to read those thoughts from her. If we can't get it up right now, we'll come back to it. Oh, here we go. And the print is a little small for me. Let me run up to the monitor here, y'all. This was such a special person. Robin Roberts writes, Al Showers was incredibly special. We'll cherish our time together at WLOX. Many wonderful memories. Sending my love and condolences to his family and the WEAR family.
Here on the Morning Current, we do like to know what's going on in your world. One of the ways you can do that is texting or using Chime In on our website to share pictures and videos of your life. Please do so. We'd love to share them. 3
weeks now since the disappearance of Nancy Guthrie. Investigators frustrated and looking at scaling back resources. We'll update that investigation.
And the bodies of those skiers killed in the avalanche in Tahoe have now been recovered. What investigators are looking at now.
Monday morning can be a little tough, so grab your coffee cup. We are in it together. Ready for a coffee break?
I'm ready for a coffee break.
Let's do it.
Let's do it. Little or no progress 3 weeks into the disappearance of Nancy Guthrie.
She disappeared from her home in Tucson, and there are a lot of no's on the checklist. The partial DNA that was recovered, still unidentified. A private lab right now is looking at it here in Florida. They're trying to separate individual DNA profiles. Then they'll go back to the FBI's national database.
No additional video has been recovered from any home cameras, and there's no vehicle they found associated with her abduction. There are at this moment 400 investigators still assigned to the case, operating, they say, every hour of every day.
Investigators say that will change. The investigation will soon transition to a new phase using fewer resources. They do say a smaller task force will stay focused on this thing long term, and that the Guthrie family is aware of the transition.
The family has also been briefed on the leads coming up short. Investigators insist the case is not closed and does remain active.
They say they do have a confirmed physical description of the subject. Obviously, you've seen this video at this point. They know it's a man, 5'9", 5'10", average build. And they do have, they say, traceable items, most significantly that 25-liter Ozark Trail hiker backpack, which was sold only at Walmart.
Walmart has turned over all traceable records across Arizona. All members of the Guthrie family have been officially cleared in the case.
In another high-profile case, Nick Reiner is set to be in court today. He will enter a plea on murder charges.
He is charged, as you know, in the stabbing deaths of his parents, Rob Reiner and his wife, Michelle, at their home in Brentwood, California. That happened on the 14th of December.
Nick Reiner is charged with 2 counts of first-degree murder with special circumstance of multiple murders. He was supposed to enter a plea last month, but his attorney withdrew from the case. Therefore, the arraignment had to be delayed while he was assigned a public defender. Now,
the former attorney insists he withdrew due to circumstances beyond their control, insisting he's not guilty of murder. Reiner remains in jail, no bond.
Right now, investigators and defense attorneys are working to document his history with substance abuse and mental health issues. Friends had reported that his mental state was declining in the time period leading toward those deadly stabbings.
Hardly over now. Former Jeffrey Epstein associate Ghislaine Maxwell wants to stop the release of 90,000 more pages related to a civil case against them.
This is interesting. The documents are from a settled civil case filed more than a decade ago by Virginia Giuffre. The DOJ wants to release these documents, which include over 30 depositions.
Now, Maxwell's attorneys say the law used to force the release of millions of Epstein's files are unconstitutional, saying it's a violation of the separation of powers, basically saying that Congress certainly cannot tell the Department of Justice what to do.
At the same time, members of Congress are complaining that only about half the files have actually been released, with heavy redactions. And there's more fallout this morning from the arrest of Andrew Mountbatten Windsor. Reports say the British government is considering formally removing him from the line of succession to the crown.
He is number 8 in line, despite losing his status and honors last year. Removing him from the line would require an act from Parliament plus agreement from 14 Commonwealth nations.
The body of the final missing backcountry skier killed in an avalanche near Lake Tahoe has now been recovered. 9
backcountry skiers died in that avalanche last week on the California side of Lake Tahoe. 3 were professional guides, other 6 close friends.
Officials had to wait to recover the bodies with those avalanche conditions. It was just still too dangerous. 5 were recovered via helicopter on Friday. 4 more on Saturday. Now, 6 skiers did survive that avalanche. 2 of them are injured. Investigators right now are trying to see if there was any criminal negligence leading up to the deaths.
They're looking into things like, how did the group assess the weather forecast? Why did they choose that particular route? Was the avalanche triggered naturally or perhaps by a skier?
Investigators say they do know the skiers had made an effort to get off the mountain early with the weather moving in.
It was a year or so ago, and forgive me because I forget his name, talking to an astronaut. And my first question is space still hard? He said, yes, space is still hard.
Look at that. It's so close but so far, right? The moon. And apparently NASA's trip to the moon has now been delayed.
Yeah, it's not going to happen in March after all. The mission was likely delayed with no attempts in March. It's rolling the rocket and Orion spacecraft back to the hangar. They cite an interrupted flow of helium.
Apparently that is a bad thing.
A big deal. 4 astronauts scheduled to go on a 10-day mission around the moon. Not going to land, just going to go around, take a look, and come back, see how it all works.
This would be the first time that humans have returned to the vicinity of the moon since 1972, Apollo 17. NASA has 6 launch opportunities in April, so NASA, crossing fingers for you.
We'll get there.
It's right there. All right, here back on Earth, you know, it's when that north wind lays down the Gulf like that, obviously it looks like it's very still outside. That is not correct.
Yeah, and we are looking at those winds this morning. 10 to about 20 miles an hour is what we're seeing currently. We will be looking at that, making it feel a little bit cooler this morning. So if you are out and about, just make sure you are bundled up. We do have those nice sunny skies over our Hardee's camera right now. I'm going to be looking at the sunshine. As you head into your afternoon, we will be looking at those temperatures getting a little bit better. We do have the 30s right now, avoiding a freeze this morning, anywhere from 33 to about 35 inland. Along the coast, 35 to about 38. With the winds, it does feel cooler. So the winds are going to be making it feel a touch cooler than this. Once again, 10 to about 20 mile an hour winds at the highest. And you can see that does make it feel like the 20s and low 30s. So we are going to feel chilly as you head into your day today. We are going to have the 50s for your highs. Now, cooler weather does not last long. By the time you hit the end of the week, we are going to be looking at temperatures warming up above average. We are expecting above average temperatures heading into Wednesday. You can already see looking a little bit above average. We're going to go from the 50s today, tomorrow, into the 60s by Wednesday, 70s by Thursday, and we'll stay in the 60s and 70s as you head into the weekend. So just a couple of days with this cooler weather. Radar stays dry for the most part. We are going to be looking at nice sunny skies today. It's just going to be a little windy and cool. We'll look at some sunshine heading into your Tuesday as well. Now Wednesday, we'll start to see a little change. This is also where it starts to warm up. You can see more of a southerly flow heading into Tuesday night. We will have a few passing clouds heading into your Wednesday, and then by the time you hit Thursday, we'll have a few more clouds, and we'll also start to see a small chance of some rain. Overall rain chance does look isolated, but we are going to start to bring some rain chances in Thursday, Friday, and heading into your weekend. Let's take a look at your coastal conditions now, because it is quite windy. Because of that, small craft advisory is in place for today. Winds are out of the north-northwest at about 15 to 20 knots, 1 foot for the Gulf. We are also looking at your yellow flags flying this morning, with a good chance we could see those yellow flags throughout your day today with that moderate rip current risk. Let's take a look at your week ahead. You can see those temperatures staying cool tomorrow. We will still stay in the 50s, and tomorrow morning we'll actually get temperatures at or below freezing. So we'll have one morning in the freezing range. We'll warm back up into the 50s by Tuesday morning. By Wednesday, we get into those upper 60s and 70s as we head into the end of the week and the weekend, and that does come with some small rain chances. Doesn't look like a washout. Should still be able to get out and enjoy the end of the week, but we'll deal with anywhere from a 30 to 50% chance of rain from Thursday heading into the weekend.
The 2026 Winter Olympics are officially over. We'll take a look one more time at that overtime win for the gold and a Crestview native earning a medal.
The Winter Olympics coming to a close.
And the closing ceremony yesterday at the Verona Arena, apparently an ancient Roman amphitheater. The theme, beauty in action. Light show and turning off the flames.
And let's talk about the U.S. men's.
Thought was draw the penalty. Actually, my first thought was I looked down the ice and saw my teeth. I was like here we go again. 'Cause I know the last time that happened, it wasn't very fun.
Suppose not. Speed skater and Crestview native Mia Manganiello is bringing home a medal. How about that?
It's awesome. Making history, she won bronze in the mass start Saturday, the first U.S. skater, man or woman, to make it to an Olympic podium for a mass start race.
Yeah, she's the oldest American to earn an Olympic speed skating medal at 36 years old and 36 and 117 days old. Okay, we're very specific. She spent most of the race biding her time, hanging in the middle of the pack before breaking out in the final laps. I watched this live. I was on my bike trainer as I was watching, and I was like going really fast. I'm like, go Mia! And she, yeah.
Oh, like Crestview had to be screaming right there along with you.
Here we go. Team USA with a record 12 gold medals in the Winter Games. Overall medal count 33, 12 silver, 9 bronze.
I love it. The Winter Games in 2030 will be in the French Alps.
Ooh.
The Summer Games in 2028 will be in Los Angeles.
Chime In is sponsored by Pensacola Habitat for Humanity.
Good morning.
Oh, this is pretty cool. This is from Lisa. The Pensacola Junior Ice Flyers 12U travel team took home gold just minutes before Team USA on Sunday morning. They did compete in Southern Youth Travel Hockey League, and this team was the first team to finish first in the A1 division. We're so proud of you.
We are so proud. That is fantastic.
And good morning, and thank you, Jamie Settle. Here we go. Pensacon is the title of this particular photograph.
And we love Jamie. Jamie was a production assistant here at WEAR for a long time, went on to bigger and better things, and clearly loving life.
On the way, the Morning Current will bring you President Trump not backing down on the tariffs. What's he doing now, and how is he doing it? We'll explain. Cold and windy here, but up north, a historic blizzard slamming the Northeast. 2 feet of snow already in some areas.
Brutal to be right down in the middle of that, but I believe we have a live shot showing a slightly different angle from the top of the Statue of Liberty. You can see a snowy and cold looking scene in New York City.
They say it'll bring more heavy snow, damaging wind as well to more than one state. And at the moment, 40 million people are under blizzard warnings.
In both New York and New Jersey, governors have now issued states of emergency. They're seeing fallen trees, traffic accidents amid that heavy snowfall.
Travel affected as well, of course. Thousands and thousands of flights canceled today already.
Man, that makes our winds seem a little bit tame, Brooke. I mean, it's cold outside to us, but our thoughts are certainly with all those millions of people dealing with some really brutal weather.
Yeah, and we're not going to be looking at anything nearly like that. We do have those breezy conditions this morning, about 10 to 20 miles an hour at the highest. We do have your temperatures much cooler this morning in the 30s. It is just going to be a breezy, chilly start to your day. So make sure you are bundled up as you are heading out and about. Right now, we are taking that live look over Okaloosa Island camera. Anywhere from the mid-30s inland, we do have some low 30s, but avoiding the freeze. We do have temperatures along the coastline in those upper 30s. We should get into the 40s as we head into the next couple of hours. Winds anywhere from 10 to 15 miles an hour. Going to be some areas that get closer to 20 miles an hour. It is going to be more along the coastline with some of those breeziest conditions. Now for your radar, it looks nice and calm. We are going to be looking at some sunshine as you head throughout your day today. We're going to be looking at the sunshine for the next couple of days, and those temperatures will slowly warm up today. Going to be getting into the low 50s by tomorrow morning. Very cold, but we will start a warming trend by tomorrow afternoon. 53 by the time you hit 3 p.m. Temperatures already in the mid 40s as you head into 7 o'clock, and we will see temperatures more than likely around freezing as you wake up tomorrow morning. That'll be the coldest you get as we have a warming trend we'll talk about in just a bit.
At 7:31, we offer a shot of the great outdoors, the 3 Mile Bridge particularly. Light traffic at the moment and no problems there or anywhere.
Some progress being made downtown along Palafox Street. Construction is continuing, and the city gave us an update on Friday.
They say the final phase of stormwater installation underway at the center of the project, of course. Crews are pouring curbs and ADA ramps and getting ready for paver installation on both ends of the street.
The crosswalks have been paved over with asphalt. You may notice that it makes it a little bit easier to get back and forth as you still hopefully are shopping downtown. The city hopes to have the work done by late May.
How about a live shot of the White House as we talk about your money and President Trump doubling down on his tariffs?
He announced Saturday he's raising global tariffs to 15%. That is up from the 10% that he put in place a day earlier.
This came after the Supreme Court ruled Friday that the sweeping emergency tariffs that he imposed last year are illegal.
The ruling, however, only applies to the ones that Trump imposed using one specific law. So the president immediately responded by saying he will rely on other legal authorities to keep tariffs in place, and those laws are in place. Now he's requiring Congress, or asking Congress at least, to approve the new tariffs within 150 days in order for them to remain in effect.
Now, for all the money, all the billions and billions of dollars that U.S. companies paid after Trump raised those tariffs last year, your Democrats are demanding the money be refunded. Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent says the High Court didn't address the refunds, remanded it down to a lower court.
And Bessent says it could be weeks or months before we can get a ruling from that court.
And there's more. The partial government shutdown affecting only the Department of Homeland Security and is causing confusion for frequent flyers.
Yeah, the DHS made an announcement late Saturday that TSA PreCheck and the global entry programs would be suspended. That was all set to go into place Sunday morning, 5 a.m. Less than a day later, a TSA spokesperson said PreCheck will still operate with no change right away.
Spokesperson says if staffing issues come up, they will reevaluate and adjust as necessary. Secretary Kristi Noem calls the decision tough but necessary.
Ahead of the shutdown deadline, Democrats have refused to fund a DHS until concessions were made around ICE enforcement. The parties still have not agreed on any type of solution.
All right, let's bring it on home. The Escambia County Sheriff's Office asking the Florida State Board of Immigration Enforcement for $5.9 million.
Sheriff Chip Simmons says this money would go toward radios, body camera data storage, and license plate readers. He says the money for this equipment would take years to get any other way.
Immigration Board's executive director already approved the request. Governor Ron DeSantis has the last say, and the cabinet is set to talk about it at their meeting tomorrow.
A new poll from ABC News, Washington Post, and Ipsos found Americans are opposing the tactics used by ICE in immigration law enforcement. The margin in that poll about 2-1, 62% to 31%, but we wanted to know what you think.
If you approve of ICE's tactics when enforcing immigration law. About 100 people voted in. 67% said yes, 33% said, well, no.
And a new poll shows the majority of Americans disapprove of how the president is handling several situations. This poll, again, ABC News, Washington Post, Ipsos, showed Trump with low ratings in several categories, including inflation, tariffs, and international relations.
The category with the lowest approval rating was inflation, 32% approving, 65% disapproving. The category with the highest approval rating was immigration at the U.S.-Mexico border, 47% approve, 50% disapprove.
The poll also showed most Americans also don't trust Democrats in Congress. They don't trust him any more than they trust the president. 33% saying they trust Trump more to handle the country's main problems, 31% saying they trust Democrats more to handle those problems, and 31% saying they don't trust either.
And the president set to deliver the State of the Union address, first one for his second term, tomorrow, starting at 8 o'clock our time. You can watch it right here or perhaps on our website, weartv.com.
We want to know what you're thinking. There's a QR code for you. Scan that and answer this question. Are you going to watch President Trump's State of the Union address? We will share the results tomorrow morning.
All of that can just make you just a little tense. What would help in your life? I think maybe a dog.
Or a cat. I don't know.
Well, okay. A dog.
Hey, whatever you love. It is a lifetime commitment, but if you're ready to make it, Escambia County Department of Animal Welfare is ready to help you out. They are waiving adoption fees for dogs and cats, and that will run all the way through Saturday the 28th.
The shelter on West Fairfield Drive, open Monday through Friday, noon till 5, 11 to 4 on Saturdays and Sundays.
Ahead on the Morning Current, more students have access to laptops and tablets, but is it working out the way we hope? The impact this technology has had.
Gen Z hitting milestones later in life, why they're taking their time on major life events. All right, you haven't got a dog. That's okay. You can get one. I think it's a great idea. But you may have coffee.
That's it. And coffee can be a stress reliever if you take time to enjoy. So I suggest a morning coffee break. Is technology making our students smarter? Let's look at the scale of the problem before we get to the or. In 2024, the U.S. spent more than $30 billion putting laptops and tablets in the hands of our students. Turns out, access to the internet and all of that information, it does not equal smarter students.
That's the or part, right?
That's the or part, yes.
Neuroscientist Jared Cooney Horvath provided testimony to Congress saying Gen Z is less cognitively capable than previous generations.
Yeah, they're the first generation of modern history to score lower on standardized tests than the previous generations. The skills measured on the tests aren't always indicative of intelligence, but they do reflect cognitive capability.
And Horvath says that cognitive ability has been on the decline for the last decade or so. They're looking at these declining test scores, and they're saying there's a very stark correlation with time spent on computers in school.
Basically, more screen time equals lower scores. Okay. He went on to say it's not about taking technology away, it's about aligning educational tools with how humans actually learn.
Yeah, it also says it's too easy to get off track, cited a 2014 study that says students engage in off-task activities on their school computers nearly 2/3 of the time.
Can I say it again?
What?
I said it on the morning news. A good teacher worth their weight in the precious metal of your choice.
And the challenges they're facing these days
it's
are
tougher and tougher.
Numerous. Shout out.
Okay,
right.
This is interesting.
Gen Z hitting their life milestones later, experts say.
Yeah, Jeffrey Jensen Arnett is a professor of psychology at Clark University, and he did speak on the new stage of adulthood called emerging adulthood. Gen Z waiting longer to finish education, get married, parenthood, and he says 30 is the new 20.
Okay, I just got to stop everything right here, okay, and say,
what?
In our house, we kind of call it failure to launch, but
failure
emerging
to
adulthood,
launch.
That's great.
I like
that's
it, emerging to adulthood. Here we go. Reasons include adults have cultural approval to take their own time making their way to adulthood. I took a long time. I'll admit it.
This is true. I mean, I think there's some in every generation that are kind of taking every path. I don't know that you can narrow it down to just Gen Z or whatever, because some are just taking advantage of the freedom they have in their 20s, just like Jared did back when he was in his 20s.
I was, when I look back, I was actively working on dying young.
Oh, stop there. Okay, AJ, I got to bring you in before we go down that rabbit hole, because you are a good observer of all the generations and the trends.
Yeah, I think this is something that I think a lot of millennials did too. Maybe not all of them, but a lot of millennials waited to have kids, waited to get married. But my big takeaway from this is the 20 is the new 30, which is fantastic news for me because it means I'm only 26 and I'm not inching closer and closer to 40 every day. So I think that this is a great thing. I think that, again, I think it's something that started with millennials. I know a lot of my friends got married in their 30s. I got married in my 30s. But I don't know. I think it's a trend where people are just like kind of taking more ownership back of their time and of their life. And I also want to go back really quick to the books and tablets and the cognitive capability. I just want to also say, Gen Z, I feel you because I have been pregnant twice now and I have mommy brain and I get it. I get it. Sometimes cognitive ability just goes out the window and that's just life.
So much input. I mean, I think that's the thing. We have caveman brains and we are living in a world with this constant input. I think we all need to give ourselves and others some grace some days.
Excellent idea. Thank you, Laura Hussey.
Always looking for the positive. You can see these stories and more on WEAR's YouTube channel, top local and national YouTube shorts if you've only got a second. And every day, the Morning Minute, just search WEAR News on YouTube.
All right, there's another study out there, a new one that says cannabis use as a teenager may increase risk of psychosis later in life. What areas of mental health were the most effective in the people that were surveyed? We'll have the numbers. All right, teased this a minute ago, and here we go. Here's the headline. Cannabis use among teenagers could be linked to an increased risk of psychosis later in life.
This is a new study published in JAMA Health Forum, and they analyzed data of 460,000 teens in the Kaiser Permanente Health System in Northern California. They followed them until they were 25 years old, looking at things like substance abuse screenings and mental health diagnoses. Any
adolescents with mental health issues before cannabis use were excluded. The study found that teens who reported using cannabis had twice the risk of developing bipolar and psychotic disorders.
Only a small fraction of the teens were actually diagnosed with both, but there is a risk of depression which increased by a third in this study, the risk of anxiety up by about a quarter, and the study authors say some of these links did weaken when cannabis was used later, when it was started later.
They say it shows the sensitivity of the brain while it's still developing. All right, we want the happy story of the day?
I think so. We have an update on a little guy that stole all of our hearts last week. Punch the monkey at the Ichikawa Zoo in Japan. That's little Punch. He's a macaque who was abandoned by his mother at birth. Not uncommon in this species, but he was having a tough time. All the other monkeys were rejecting him. So we saw a lot of videos like this. They gave him that little stuffed orangutan to keep him company.
Yeah, the other monkeys were seen bullying him. I know it has been very sad on social media. You know, you don't even want to watch the videos. He just clings to his plushie. But things are getting better. The zoo did post a video of him being groomed and embraced by other monkeys.
Yeah.
Finally. I was going to have to go beat up some monkeys.
I was going to say, Brooke, if all of the humans who wanted to give Punch a hug could just get into that enclosure, you know, without having their face ripped off, things would have been much better for him much sooner.
Apparently things were working out. It took a little time, little effort and all that to be welcomed on in, just like people, you know?
Okay, happy ending there. Cold morning in Northwest Florida, and it's all that wind.
Yeah, quite cold. We are going to be looking at your temperatures in the 30s right now, feeling a little bit cooler because of the wind that we have. Right now, we are taking a live look over our Hardee's camera. It is gorgeous. We do have the sunshine. As we head into the rest of your day, we're going to be looking at the sunny weather, cooler temperatures. It is going to eventually get into those 50s for your high. So we will be looking at temperatures below average. We are avoiding a freeze this morning. We're seeing anywhere from 34 to about 37 inland. Along the coastline, we're in those upper 30s. We will expect temperatures to feel a little bit cooler because of the winds, anywhere from 10 to about 18 miles an hour. That's going to be where you have the strongest winds along the coastline. It is going to make it feel more like the 20s and low 30s. So even though we're avoiding a freeze this morning, it is going to feel like freezing. Now tomorrow morning, we'll get those temperatures very close to or below freezing. It's going to be a little bit cooler tomorrow morning. The winds won't be quite as high. And then we're going to have some changes. You can see our highs in the 50s for today. Look at what happens as we head into the end of the week. We look above average. We're going to be seeing temperatures go from the 50s today, tomorrow into the upper 60s, Wednesday, 60s and 70s as you head into the end of the week. Now with this, we have a little bit of moisture moving in. Radar's really dry right now. We have the sunshine as you head through your day. Sunshine heading into your Tuesday. Heading into Wednesday, we will be looking at some clouds rolling in. We'll have a few passing clouds. You'll still have mostly sunny skies. Thursday is when we'll have some more rain moving in, and it is going to be warmer on that Wednesday as well. Thursday will look a little bit warmer, and we will start to see some small rain chances for the end of the week. Sea-Town marine forecast. We have 1 foot for the Gulf. Winds out of the north-northwest at 15 to 20 knots. Small craft advisory in place. And we do have your yellow flags flying with a good chance we will keep those yellow flags throughout your day. Let's get you through your week ahead. You can see temperatures are staying in the 50s today and tomorrow. We'll be in the 30s for tomorrow morning. Very cold, but we do warm back up. Upper 40s by Wednesday morning, 60s for highs, and 70s by Thursday.
It is another online optical illusion. Tell me, what do you see?
This is such a good example of perception as reality. There is another optical illusion dividing the internet.
All right, take a look at this, and what do you see when you look at this? Some people see, well, like pink slime or something like that. Other people, which just changed for me, looks like forks. What do you see, Brooke?
Well, after you see forks, you can't unsee forks.
Yeah, it's hard to go back, but when I first saw it, I told Jared it's a giant pink sponge.
Yeah.
With some things in between.
I mean, it does look like something under the sea. When you first see it, you think it's like coral or something.
Now, I'm curious about if you see the pink slime, does that say something about you? Or does it say something different about people who see the forks?
It doesn't really look slimy. I don't even know. I think I don't know how our eyeballs work, because like some people who are color blind can still recognize some color. So I guess everybody just sees. I'm just looking at the pattern in that silverware, wondering where they got it.
I think you're right, Brooke.
I totally went off on a tangent with the whole thing.
Once you see the forks, you can't unsee them, I think.
Anyway, somebody posted it on TikTok, 6 million plus views, and it's a little bit of fun on a Monday.
Chime In is sponsored by Pensacola Habitat for Humanity.
Some people just do the good stuff. Amelia Jones, thank you. These are students from Independence for the Blind, visited the Junction restaurant in Flomaton, where they learned practical skills for their workforce. The staff trained them in different tasks and prep work required in the food business. Mike Newton and the entire staff of the Junction, they say, made a significant impact on these students.
Fantastic.
All right, this is from Ashley Thompson. Pensacon meeting Tom Welling, Superman. That's pretty cool.
What a moment, and a shout out to everybody who made Pensacon such a great time. We're hearing only good things about it.
No kidding. All right, the Morning Current will continue in just a moment.
We are going to be looking at your temperatures in the 50s today and tomorrow. Tonight going to be quite cold. We'll be in the 30s, right around freezing or below freezing. We will be seeing the 50s again tomorrow before we warm up. Wednesday is going to be waking up in the upper 40s, 60s for highs. We'll have some sunshine mixed in with some clouds on Wednesday, and then we'll see some isolated showers starting Thursday. About a 50% chance of rain on Thursday, about a 30 to 40% chance of rain through the weekend.
Thank you so much for joining us on the Morning Current. I just saw a video from a friend. She'd covered up all her plants for the next 2 nights. Hang in there, baby plants.
You're going to let yours die, though, right?
I have mine protected in a secret location, meaning I was lazy and didn't plant them yet. Stay warm this morning as you head out and have a fabulous Monday. Thanks for watching, everybody.